With the release of Chapter 5, it seems like you've only just scratched the surface of Deltarune's narrative. And with so many questions to find the answers to, I always find myself going back to the first. Who is the Roaring Knight? After Chapters 3 and 4 were released last year, it seemed obvious that it was a holiday member. Or Babira. But it has to go deeper than that. We have to go more in depth. Wink. You see, the Knight is a shadow crystal. What started this theory was that Sham gives us a really interesting piece of dialogue after giving them the 5th shadow crystal, explaining what the power they contain is. They say that their power is will, which is already a really important concept in Undertale and Deltarune because your will is your determination. And then they rephrase that. They say that their real power is that they are the power of lost dreams. When a strong attachment is formed and a dream is gripped tightly and then broken off, these are the shards that remain. Failed dreams. That had gotten me thinking about all the previous shadow crystal holders and what it meant. Rethinking everything, and it made sense. Jevil has a more abstract concept than I think we'll probably learn more about soon. Spencer was a failed TV star after the help he was given stopped calling, but more importantly, using the scrapped body of Metaton Neo, which is where he found the Shadow Crystal. A Lightner, Gerson, who never got to finish Lord of the Hammers, also a past Lightner. And recently, Mad Mew Mew, who can't be fused with her body in the light world. She has a shadow crystal too. And she's also a Lightner. That's interesting. All of these shadow crystal holders have a Lightner's dream. So perhaps a Darkner couldn't receive one without that. And a side note, but anyone notice how magic isn't a thing in the light world? I mean, different universe or different set of rules, I guess. Anyway, point is, all of them are failed dreams. So why would the Knight have one? And why did they drop it with the black shard? Maybe it's because they're one and the same. And this failed dream is what gives them form. What had also made me think about this more was this line in Chapter 4, in the room before the egg room. There's this book that you can read with the text I saw. The text confused me at first. I read it 2 days before the release of Chapter 5, and when Toby had told us about the lake with the ARG. Here's what the text says. And so wept the fallen star, making rivers of its tears. Then, slowly, from the bitter water, something grew. It looked like glass. That just stuck out to me. It was weird. Creepy too. And the ocean and glass motifs just don't stop there. Chapter 3 had a lot of weird foreshadow for the narrative. I mean, you have Tenna asking Kris if Des can come over sometime. Talk about awkward. Coincidentally, on the same board 2, there's this conch shell that most people will just miss or destroy, and it's described as a cracked conch, surrounded up by washed glass, and not a single person seeming to want it. Listening to it says it was the sound of the ocean, but that was a pity because it just kept repeating all it knew. You could still hear the sound of the ocean. There's just this weird motif between the two. The spawn sounded like crushed glass. The shadow crystals feel like water in your hand, but they literally are glass. The shadow mantle makes shadows slip off like water. Just, what does it mean? Dark/star is weird too because of the text from earlier. What fallen star wept? Is the star Kris? I mean, look here, Alfie says so. There's that star that falls off from the green room. I mean, their best friend is Starwalker. What the fuck? I can't see anything wrong with this being true, especially since the Knight has struck up only at night. And there's this one thing that Rousey says, saying, the Knight, I thought they only showed up alongside the heroes, right? And they could sense the Knight when they're there. That's just, it's so weird. And that line has so much confusion behind it. Rousey is so confused about it. I mean, they know more about prophecy than we do. And for him not to understand that the knight could be outside is just weird. I mean, Deltarune is clearly about a set path with choices not mattering, you know? But wouldn't that mean that the knight would have to play by the same rules? Why can the knight defy this? Maybe they can't. And that's just what Toby wants us to think. Either way, we know what they are now, and shouldn't that bring us closer to finding her? I think it's also important to note that in the mantle board, you have that moment with that shadow monster that follows your keyboard and can turn into a black deer. I think that can help with the fact that Kris could be the fallen star. Maybe mourning the loss of December? Food for thought. Anyway, I felt like sharing my thoughts here. I hope you guys enjoyed my first theory video. I will probably make some more. Next time, I'm definitely still figuring out the kinks of it, but I would like to talk about Friend and Dragon Blazers. Stay tuned, and I'm Ducky.